Over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm Paige. I'm an alcoholic.
Okay.
And man, what a privilege it is, you know, and I love the reading of on page 124, and that's why I picked it, because it kicks off with an experience, and I'll just say what a powerful experience it is to be here in person with people that I love and care about deeply from the other side of the world. Like, what a magical experience. But let me tell you about what the experience was that brought me into Alcoholics Anonymous, because it might be a little like yours. You see, I have this illness called alcoholism, but when I got here, I didn't think I had it, and I certainly hoped I did not. And what happens for me is I take a drink, and I begin to feel the effects of that drink, and that effect, you guys can let me know if you relate, is this. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I take a drink and I am okay. I don't know what the football team that we're supposed to support, but it's like they won. Go Sports, you know? Woo, you know? And I'm okay. But you see, I take that drink and I get that relief. And what happens to me, it's like a little switch that goes off in the back of my head, and it tells me more. And the more that I drink, the louder that more gets. And some of you guys know, I take that first drink and it demands a second. And that second insists on 4. And my 4th drink will not relent until I've had 8. And my 8th drink is screaming at me until I've had 16. And I don't know about you guys, but for somebody like me to drink in that way, what happens is I cross these lines in the sand that I said I would never cross. I do these things I said I would never do. My life becomes one that is absolutely unrecognizable to somebody like me. I hate myself. I hate who I am. I cannot stand to be in my own skin. I can't look myself in the mirror. And I have the slightest inkling, just a little bit of self-awareness. I'm not topped up on that. But the slightest bit that alcohol might have something to do with it. And here's my experience. I say with everything that is in me, I never want to drink again. And I mean it. The morning after, when I come here, I'm not big on prayer, but I was spending some mornings praying to the porcelain gods. You guys know what I'm saying? Prayer position. Dear God, make it stop. I was not afraid of prayer then. That's all I'll say. But I would come to the morning after, and I would say with everything that is in me, I don't want to drink again. I'll never drink again. And I would promise myself and I would promise my loved ones, and this is the experience of alcoholism, that my desire to stay sober, my need to stay sober, my want to stay sober, and all the things that I would try to put between me and the first drink were insufficient. I could not stay sober. I could not experience permanent contented sobriety. Because I would put the bottle down and I would be stuck with me, and it would be a little like me on me, like bone on bone, and there was no tendon there, and it was too much, and I just needed that relief and that release, and I would go back to it again and again and again, and that was my experience with alcoholism. And when it goes on to say that the experience is the thing of supreme value in life. So that experience, it has value, but it did not feel like that was true. And it did not feel like that was the case when I came into Alcoholics Anonymous. I promise you, when I got here, I knew very little, but I was convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that I did not deserve to be here, and I did not have value and worth as a human being. That was what I knew. But this experience that I had, it is the thing of supreme value in life, and this is true only if one is willing to turn the past to good account. And how do I do that? How do I change the message or the mess and the pain and the degradation of my life as I had been living it? How do I do that? It says we grow by our willingness to face and to rectify errors and convert them into assets. So how do I begin to take that dark past, to take the things that happened to me in my alcoholism and the things that happened to me before I even picked up a drink, and some of the things that happened to me in sobriety? I talk about that because not all of, but some of the most painful things in my life have happened to me when I have been here and sober with you. And so how do I convert that? You see, Alcoholics Anonymous, in my experience, is far more than just a drink and go to meetings. I'm happy to be here. I'm so happy to be sober. I'm going to turn 24. I'm going to pass it on, you know? And I know I hear that out here. You guys don't relate to that. You're always happy, joyous, and free because your sports team is winning. Go sports. But like that was me, and that was impossible. And so how do I do that? How do I get from the hopelessness and the pain of my life as I'd been living it, and the hopelessness and the pain of my alcoholism, and how do I convert that? Well, when it says we grow by our willingness to face, how do I face my past? Well, the first way that I begin to do that is in step 4. And I begin to put pen to paper on those things inside of me that are blocking me from this power. And I'll be honest, the power that I don't like, that I don't believe in, and that I think wants absolutely nothing to do with me when I get here. But here's my experience. I come to rooms like this with people like you. People who have found the solution that we have in Alcoholics Anonymous, and there is a light in your eyes. There is a hope in your spirit. And I think you think you're better than me because I just hate myself. And I'm like, oh, joy, yuck, get it off, you know, because it's like, that's not me. But I see that you have something that I don't have. And in the second step, all I need to believe, all that is asked of me to believe, is that you have found a solution, and that maybe if I do what you did, I am not so special that experience couldn't happen to me. And I cannot deny the miraculous nature of Alcoholics Anonymous. I cannot deny the miracles that I see before me here today. And so who am I to say there could not be a power when you are here and sober and happy and full of life and full of joy, and I want to kill myself every night? You have something. And so I believe in the second step that maybe there could be a solution to my alcoholism, a solution to the thought that I have that takes me back again and again to the first drink. And I make a decision in step 3 that I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. And I feel called to talk about this. I got like 5 minutes left. I haven't spoken about the stuff I'm supposed to talk about. Whatever. That's how these go. Well, but here's my experience. I feel called, so we're doing it. Oftentimes, I think willingness looks like, oh boy, I'm happy to be here. I can't wait to write inventory. Amends to my ex? I can't think of anything else I'd rather be doing. I'd love to. And sponsorship? Oh, alcoholics. They're known, as you would know, they're known for being so kind, patient, reasonable, and punctual, you know? Now, if anyone's late because the Lizzie line's on fire, you get an excuse. Don't you worry. I heard about that. I was like, yikes. All right. But willingness looks like I'm terrified. Willingness looks like I don't think I deserve the life that Alcoholics Anonymous has for me. Willingness looks like I don't think it'll help. Willingness looks like I'm doing it with the worst possible motives, and I'm going to do it anyways. That's what willingness looks like. And so the third step is a willingness to take the course of actions that is laid before us. For me, the 12 steps is outlined in the book Alcoholics Anonymous. And so we grow by our willingness to face and rectify errors and convert them into assets. So what happens in step 4 is I begin to see the truth about who I am. I begin to see the truth about the things inside of me that are blocking me from this power. And in step 5, I face them with myself, with God, and another human being. And I begin to see the truth. And in that quiet hour, and in step 6, I face them when I sit with myself and that power which I call God, higher power, creator, spirit of the universe, and I become willing for that power to take them from me. And I begin to rectify them in step 7 when I ask for them to be taken from me. And I begin to rectify them in step 8 and in step 9 when I go out and make amends for the harms that I've caused. And I continue that course of action 4 through 9 in step 10. And I continue it in step 11. And I grow and I deepen that connection with this power. And it says the alcoholic's past thus becomes the principal asset. So the main asset, the most valuable thing that I have is my past, because I'm willing to grow and to change. And see, Alcoholics Anonymous has become far more than just don't drink, because I can't do that. Alcoholics Anonymous has taken the worst things that I've ever done, the depth of my pain, the depth of my shame, and utterly and radically transformed them into gifts and into blessings that I get to use to help another alcoholic. And the things that I wanted to die behind, the things I thought I would never tell another human being, I could share them now if it would be helpful. Do you know what I mean? There is freedom. There is freedom. And occasionally I'll do a talk on the economy of grace, which is to say that nothing is wasted in Alcoholics Anonymous. The pain and the suffering that I experience as a human being, because I'm not exempt from the human experience, gets used for good. And here's where. It says, the painful past may be of infinite value to other families still struggling with their problem. We think each family which has been relieved owes something to those who have not. And when the occasion requires, each member of it should be only too willing to bring former mistakes, no matter how grievous, out of their hiding places. You see, my painful past has value and purpose when I'm sitting down with another alcoholic, eyeball to eyeball, face to face, screen to screen. And I can say, yes, me too. Yes, me too, I drank like that. Yes, me too, I did that thing. Yes, me too, I felt that way. And here is how I got freedom from it. And that is one of the many miracles of Alcoholics Anonymous. That the stuff that I couldn't share with another human being is now a small part of somebody else's miracle. Somebody else gets to stay sober. Somebody else gets to help others. Somebody else gets to experience their family coming back and becoming able to be a part of life once more. Man, that is the stuff that we get to have here. Only if you want, no pressure. I'm big on consent. You know what I mean? If you don't want it, that's cool. That's cool. And sometimes they're like, girl, you tone it down. I couldn't if I tried. I could not if I tried. And I please know that this ability to experience joy and happiness, that's not who I was when I got here. When I got here, I was somebody that I would suck the energy out of the room. I was miserable. Hey, it's so good to see you. And everyone who's late loves it when you just call attention to it. Hey guys, don't you worry. I heard about the Lizzie line. All good. Come on in. So good to see you. Focus. And what I want you to know is it took a rigorous application of these 12 steps. And I also want you to know my experience about how this dark past has absolutely transformed my life and really showed me a glimpse into the power that is available on offer. It says, showing others who suffer how we were given help is the very thing which makes life seem so worthwhile now. So when I sit down with sponsees, when I sit down with other alcoholics, and I take them through this work, and we sit down and we do their 5th step, and they share with me their deep, dark secret. They share with me that thing that they do not want to tell another soul. That thing that they want to die behind. That thing they don't think they're deserving of the life that is available in Alcoholics Anonymous. That they share that with me. How I feel about them changes. It changes. I love them more. You guys maybe you don't know this. I'm a fall down failure of a human being. On a good day, on my own will, I'm pissing my pants behind a dumpster, smoking non-conference approved dry goods with a fella I just met. I know. But don't you worry, like a lady, pinkies up. Right? I am when I talk about my own powerlessness, what I mean is there is absolutely nothing that I can do in and of myself to stop myself from taking that first drink. And then I come and I learn in step 2 about the bedevilments. And the bedevilments are pointing to the spiritual malady. The spiritual malady is not limited to alcoholics. You'll find them on those London roads. Whoa, you got some driving. You'll find them. The spiritually sick people. But here's what I want you to know, is that Alcoholics Anonymous, we treat that. So if you've been sober a while and you're hurting, you've been sober a while and you don't know if this thing's for you, you've been sober a while and you relate to that idea, I'm going home at the end of the day and I don't know if I want to wake up. what I want you to know is just as much as we have a solution for not taking the first drink, the spiritual awakening, we have a solution for that. We have an answer for that. That's what we treat with the 12 steps to bring about that spiritual awakening. But you see, what happens is I learned that in and of myself, I can't do anything about those bedevilments. I can't do anything about how I feel sober. And then in step 3, it begins to talk about selfishness, self-centeredness. And I try to exert a lot of self on my selfishness, self-centeredness. Well, it doesn't work. And I can't do anything about that. And I come to the 4th step, and we talk about resentments, and I can't overcome those on my own power. And fears, I can't overcome those on my own power. And I have a look at my relationship conduct, which isn't stellar. And I can't do nothing about that on my own. Yikes. Like a lady. And I begin to illuminate these defects of character in 5 and 6 and 7. And I can't overcome them on my own. And so the original point is that I am a fall-down failure of an alcoholic. I cannot overcome these things on my own, but when you share with me the worst thing that you ever did, and what I feel for you is love in my heart. Man, there's not a chance that this silly little drunk is doing better than God in the love department. So imagine how that spirit, that love, that creator, God feels about you. That's what begins to be on offer for each and every one of us. And it says, cling to the thought that in God's hands, the dark past is the greatest possession you have, the key to life and happiness for others. With it, you can avert death and misery for them. I'm wrapping up, don't you worry, I see the time.
I wouldn't dare stop you.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Just carry on.
I have the time. And so, what has happened is I came here and I felt like I had no value. I felt I had no worth. I felt like, man, I was the worst human being that ever lived. And as a result of taking actions I did not like, actions I did not believe in, actions I did not think would help, I began to grow, I began to change, and more importantly than that, I began to help others in a way that was real, in a way that was meaningful. And that has given my life meaning and purpose beyond anything I could have imagined. And the privilege to be here sitting with you, an alcoholic who really should have died a long, long time ago. And I know I look young, 15. Yeah, I swear I've doubled my life expectancy. I should not be here. And to be able to show up, to be of service, to be of use, man, that has given my life meaning and purpose beyond anything I could have imagined. So what I want to do is I want to thank you. I want to thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I want to thank you for my life. I want to thank you for my sobriety. And I want to thank you for what Alcoholics Anonymous has given me. Thank you so much.
Thanks, babe.